Oftentimes, living here in southern Idaho, I can forget that we can go overnight from this to... Welcome back to the farm, everybody. It is Tuesday, November the 8th, 2022, and we've had about 3 inches of snow overnight. And with all the leaves on the trees and whatnot still, I'm surprised we don't have more broken tree limbs than we do. Well, we didn't have quite as much snow as I figured we were going to have last night. However, there are some places right south of us that have 2 feet or so. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm not there. Although if I was, I wouldn't have to go to my day job today. On the project to-do list, I stopped by Bosinger Tractor and picked up another complete set of 6 blade bolts for this, should I ever need to take the blade off and the bolts are wore out, rounded over, otherwise basically a mess. Plus I picked up one to replace the missing one here, and because I don't use a lot of metric stuff, I stopped by Harbor Freight Tools, picked up a Pittsburgh polished chrome metric wrench set because these bolts are metric. I don't do a lot of metric work, so I have not had the opportunity to buy one before now. Anyway, we're going to tighten this thing up and on here. And yeah, we will be done installing this blade. I'll just give everything a good snug up while I'm here. And we'll get on to the next little bit of item of curiosity of what I've been up to. Alrighty, there are all of the bolts installed for the scraper blade for the bottom of the bucket. I wish they were all about that long though. Less stuff hanging up on, or less chance of stuff hanging up on it as compared to that one. And that one. Say, did you hear about all the guys over at the lumber mill that quit their jobs? Yeah, when asked why, they claimed they were bored stiff. Another little project I managed to do was I found a brand new Hero GoPro 7 Black, still in its original case, unopened, to replace the other new one that I robbed parts out of to repair that old one that you're watching me on. So yeah, we got that done now. So now I've got 2 again, plus a parts one. We'll get in the house, open that up, and look it all over, make sure it's good to go. Now, the reason why I'm out here in the tractor today, I was doing a little bit of work with it, trying to get rid of some weeds around the place, and I noticed something about the blade that I don't quite like. So let me shut this off and we'll go take a look at it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think that blade looks quite substantial enough to be on the back end of this thing. If I remember right, when I bought that blade, the only tractor we had on the farm that worked at the time was the little 8N Ford Stinky. And behind Stinky, that works fine. But on this thing, I'm thinking it might pull it apart. It is offset a bit to the left side, and it's just barely wide enough, I think, because this side's even with that side of the tire, so it's wide enough. It'll work behind the tractor. It is a 6-foot blade. I wish it was a 7-foot blade, but sometimes we can't have everything we want. And it is fairly substantial, but I think what I need to do is we need to reinforce the sides here. This piece of angle iron I don't think is quite heavy enough to handle it, plus these beams here for the A-frame are only 3/16 steel. So what I may do is get some 1/4-inch steel and fill in this triangle on both sides to help reinforce this thing. and add a little bit of weight to it so it has more down pressure. Plus, a good blue paint job wouldn't hurt it at all any. And make it match. Yeah, it would. Speaking of matches, did you all know I was single? But I'm hot. Another project that needed to be done is changing out yet another igniter in the pellet stove this week. Yeah, this is the second one of these we've had to change in 2 years. This is what the igniter looks like. It has a couple of wires that go into it. It's basically a steel tube, but if you can see in the end there, that end has burned out of it. Yeah, that's a solid plug that goes in there, and that's back in there a ways. And I could hear buzzing noise, so this thing was arky-sparkying, and well, that was igniting the pellets until she finally burned through the heater wire that's inside of that and shut it off. Now that I'm done adjusting the settings on this, we're going to fire this thing back up and see if it'll self-ignite. The only reason why I've been keeping warm for the last couple of days is because it does have a manual mode. Trouble is, if you don't need the heat, it's going to still make the heat. Now, while I'm waiting for the stove to light up and make sure that it's going to work before I leave to the in-town job for the day, I'm going to let you know that because of the new time change, it is dark when I get home, so I can't film any projects around the farm while it's dark, and I've got maybe an hour to film it first thing in the morning before I do head to town. So we're going to be doing probably, at least one video a week for a while, and if I get lucky with time and whatever, we can maybe hit you 2. And yes, it is working. Yay! Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, please subscribe right down there. Yeah, a big red thing down there that says subscribe on it in white letters. If you would, that'd mean a lot to me. I'm trying to play catch up to a friend of mine who's about 100 subscribers ahead. And give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or leave a comment in the comment section down below. But please do subscribe, share it with this video and the channel with your friends if they're interested in this sort of thing. One guy farming a small acreage, and hopefully we're going to have farmers market, pumpkin patch, and corn maze coming up in 2023. So stay tuned for all that. Plus, we're going to do a lot of updates and maintenance and repair to the old farm. So if you like it, subscribe and tell your friends and have them subscribe. Anyway, I'm Farmer Dave wishing you all well. Y'all be careful out there. Bye-bye for now.